Hey everybody, Michael Snyder here, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is March 14th, and right now we're looking at the combination of Doppler radars here across Pacific Northwest. You can see some moderate showers rolling along the Washington coast up towards Vancouver Island, southwest BC as we speak, and you can see that strong storm across California. It's going to be moving up across Oregon into Idaho and Montana. That's why there's some winter storm warnings. Winter weather advisories are in effect as well. This may clip the southeast portion of Washington here, but we're going to be going through a drying trend as we get towards tomorrow night on in through Thursday, Friday, and Saturday coming up here. We'll take a look at some of those temperatures here in a moment. Right now, looking at the infrared satellite imagery, you can see that monster storm across California here. It's starting to move some of that precip into Oregon as we saw. It's going to move across Idaho and Montana. Shower activity across the Pacific Northwest here. But by tomorrow night here, we're going to start to trend drier here across Pacific Northwest as some ridging starts to build in. More on that here in a moment. And most importantly, we're going to put an end to this nonsense. Look at this. We're almost through mid-March now. We have not had one above average day across SeaTac yet. Again, yesterday, 48 degrees. The average high is 54. Nowhere near that record high of 70 back in 1979. And we did have 41 hundredths of an inch of rain here across SeaTac for yesterday. So the rainiest day so far this month. Snow forecast, Spokane National Weather Service. You can see that storm kind of clipping Washington, moving out through Oregon, Idaho, and Montana here. Look out past 2 to 3, and the shower activity will bring some snowfall to Stevens and Snoqualmie Pass coming up. A little bit of a convergence zone overnight tonight and on in through the early morning hours might locally enhance some of the snowfall across some of the Cascades coming up. This is something to remember east of the Cascades, especially as you're getting this thaw and freezing process. Watch out for that black ice in the early morning hours, especially when you're on your morning commute out there. That black ice is a main concern here for accidents and some injuries and even fatalities at some point during the season here. So watch out for that. Have your heads up for black ice out there. Watch for that refreezing every morning. This is for Idaho. You got the winter weather advisories, winter storm warnings, or some avalanche warnings out there as well. They picked up quite a bit of snow across the higher terrain. Some of the Sawtooth Avalanche Center there has some high avalanche danger currently, and you can see there's even a wind advisory as that storm moves through as well. This is a wider look at the current hazards. Washington generally clear right now. Some dense fog across portions of the Willamette Valley this morning as well, but you can see the winter storm warnings across some of Idaho, Montana, on through Wyoming here, and some winter weather advisories and high wind warnings even in effect across Montana. Now this is looking at the NAM 3KM. You see the shower activity showing up. It's a little bit heavier than what it shows here on the model, but you can see that storm moving across California, really bringing a nice precipitation shield across Oregon, clipping Washington, moves through Idaho and Montana there. And then you can see our shower activity on in through tonight into tomorrow morning, finally starting to wane here. Then we start to go towards a drying trend here across Pacific Northwest and even warm up a bit. More on that here in a moment. Now looking at the GFS, hot off the presses here. Look at Western Washington by Friday. I wanted to highlight some of these temperatures here. Would not be surprised to see some 60-degree readings here across Western Washington. And you can see warming up across Kennewick, Walla Walla, Tri-Cities out there, Yakima as well. Spokane getting up towards 50. Take what we can get. It might be some nice sunshine around Friday and Saturday as well. This is for Western Oregon. Might not be surprised to see some 60-degree readings out there Friday or Saturday as well. And now this is what we're looking at. You can see BC, Washington, Oregon. This is the system we're dealing with across Pacific Northwest now. Finally starts to kick out of here by Wednesday. Look at that ridge building over the Pacific Northwest by the time we get on into Thursday and Friday shown there. So that's what's going to bring our brief warm-up, I should say here. The Gulf of Alaska is going to remain active. We'll take a wider look at things here, and I'll show you what I mean. But at least we're going to probably get a couple nice days out of this. Now looking at the wider view of things here, this is last night's European run. Here goes the troughing, but you'll quickly see the ridge start to build in here as we go on into Thursday, Friday, Saturday here. Cool down a little bit Sunday. I think Gulf of Alaska trough is going to remain active here. And in fact, let's bounce back a little bit towards last night's European run so you can look at that. There's some pretty good agreement on a trough setting up shop here on the west coast of North America, continuing to bring storms into California and potentially Pacific Northwest as we go through next week. And you can see just troughing never seems to be far this year as we go. I mean, look at some very chilly air moving down the coast of North America through the extended portions of March. Might continue to build up our snowpack quite nicely here across the Pacific Northwest. A lot of areas are right around average so far this year, so we could always use a bit more. Taking a look at Portland International Airport. Look at this. 3 days up in the upper 50s. Not bad. I will take it, folks. I'm dying for some sunshine and some warm weather around here. And look at Seattle, mid 50s by Thursday, then upper 50s towards 60 degrees by the time you get to Friday and Saturday. Very nice. Here's the avalanche center here. You can see the Sawtooth Avalanche Center calling for some high risk there across the higher terrain of Idaho. So heads up for that. It is considerable still across much of the Cascades of Washington, Idaho Panhandle, looking at some moderate to considerable across western Montana as well. Now, this is looking at average max temperature from average here. So basically, when you get into the greens here over the last 3 months, this is showing you that the entire West has been below average. Just a very persistent signal. You got to go all the way towards the Texas Panhandle to get to some above average temperatures. I mean, there's a couple small little areas there, but for the most part, the West has been well below average here for the last 3 months. So anyway, yeah, looking forward to some of this nice weather coming up. Just got to make it through a few showers here as we go through tonight and through early tomorrow morning. Then we'll start to dry out a bit here. But this storm is still going to impact places across Idaho and Montana here as we go through today and then through tomorrow morning. So don't sleep on that. If you're across Idaho, western Montana, and Oregon's getting some decent precipitation as we speak right now from that storm. Hopefully it can help with that drought conditions across a lot of central Oregon, Cascades, east slopes there. So anyway, yeah, hope you guys are having a good day. We'll take a look at this again tomorrow. As always, I hope you guys are enjoying the live streams. I hope you guys are tuning in when I bring them up here. It's kind of fun. It's, there's a lot of good chatter and banter back and forth there. The comments are pretty positive. So anyway, we'll take a look at what we can expect next week as a pattern. Looks like it's going to remain active after that nice weather later this week into this weekend. We are going to turn cool again here across much of the Pacific Northwest. And yeah, but at the least, maybe we'll keep the snowpack building up across the region here. So anyway, yeah, we'll do this again tomorrow. I may do a live stream, slight chance tonight. And if not, I'll talk to you guys in tomorrow morning's briefing.